This just in, Blake Lively is suing her co-star and director Justin Baldoni for harassment, claims of wild behavior on set. We got to go through this. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. I did not expect this one dropping the Saturday before Christmas at the end of the year, but here we are. Blake Lively is suing director Justin Baldoni. Apparently it is not ending with them anytime soon. Now, before we get to these new details, let's just recap where we were on this story, which we covered in great detail. If you missed it, go watch the previous coverage of us covering this film. It ends with us was having a lot of drama because fans are noticing that Blake and Justin, who are the stars of the film and he directed it, weren't supporting each other, weren't even going near each other, and rumors of issues on set made it that a lot of people were noticing. They stopped following each other on social media, et cetera, et cetera. And then when the junkets came around, they were avoiding each other like the plague. Now, Justin was saying nice things about Blake, but Blake was refusing to discuss him at all. And then there was all these issues with the campaign of the PR campaign itself and the marketing campaign. She got condemned. She was promoting her alcoholic drinks in a film that's about ABUSC. It was just a bad look. She was constantly promoting things. And then she was being called a mean girl through numerous fan interactions and problems. But it was really this one where she got backlash over her uncomfortable interview back in 2016 for her rude statements, along with Parker Posey, with Kirsty, who we had on the show. And we're going to have to bring back to get her thoughts on this. But look, my point in bringing all this back up was it wasn't just about the issues on set. It was about the issues of Blake Lively herself, the way she treated people, the way she thought she could market this film. That's where a lot of this backlash came from. So I do think if there's someone out there who's trying to rehab their image, it's definitely going to be Blake, because she never really wanted to apologize for any of this. And just that junket experience alone warranted an apology based on her behavior. Just the fact that she kept bringing Ryan Reynolds in to take over the movie, which in my opinion is not really the best way to create a good atmosphere either. So there were a lot of fair criticism, I think, that was thrown Blake Lively's way. The cast all, supported her because she's a power couple. Her and Ryan are very powerful in this industry. I like Ryan Reynolds a lot. But I got to be honest, after this junket experience, I started to not like Blake Lively. And it wasn't because of rumors. It was because of her own actions we were seeing unfold on camera. So I thought it would be over. She even said she was going to be taking a break, social media break, after being labeled a mean girl. That was the rumor. And it seemed like this was all done and done with. But no. Just getting started, apparently, because now, yes, she is suing Justin for harassment. So let's get through some of the detail. We don't have the lawsuit yet. It's on TMZ. Make sure if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Will you hit the bell for breaking alerts so that way you get all alerts? Smash the like button, leave your comments so that way you get notified. A lot of you, they purge a lot of you so you see you're actually unsubscribed. Double check, if you will, for me while you're watching the remaining of this. Excuse me. All right, so she's declaring legal war against Justin. She's saying that there was allegations of sexual harassment. Got to be careful of the word, sorry. And what she claims was a coordinated attack to destroy her reputation. Baldoni's team has fired back, calling the allegations a false attempt to rehab her reputation. According to the lawsuit obtained by TMZ and no one else, so someone got it. And this is definitely written and scaled more towards Blake's positive than Justin's. So it makes me think it was Blake's team that leaked it, but I don't know. Things got so bad during filming, there was an all hands on deck meeting to address what she claims was a hostile work environment. Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, was among the attendees. I got to pause right there. Ryan Reynolds is massively famous, super nice guy from my own experience with him. I like him a lot. Why are you bringing your famous celebrity husband on set? How is that not also creating a bit of a hostile creative takeover? Apparently he wrote scenes of the film that Justin didn't even know. But now when there's issues on the set, Ryan's not a producer. You're just bringing your husband on set. Is that typical? Do people, if you have a problem at work, do you often bring your husband to work to talk to all the bosses and people involved? Especially if your husband's famous and powerful. Is that really like a good look, Blake? Is that what? Now you explain this like it got that bad, but to me it feels like so you can't handle it without him. You have to like thrust his celebrity out there to make everyone seem even more worried. I don't know. That reads me the wrong way already because she's bringing her famous husband to work meetings to discuss about the work problems when he has nothing to do with the work. plenty of producers on the film that could have gotten involved, I would think, but that's my red flag number one. All right, but let's continue. The lawsuit lists the demands that were addressed. She says, because of Baldoni's conduct, among those demands, no more showing unclothed videos or images of women to Blake. No more mention of Baldoni's alleged previous addiction to adult films. No more discussion about conquests in front of Blake and others. No further mentions of cast and crew's parts. No more inquiries about Blake's weight, and no further mention of Blake's dead father. Okay, now look, just in going through all these, let's go one beat by beat and react. Obviously, if this was really happening to a bad degree, not a good look. I would think there'll be multiple witnesses from the crew to reaffirm this, especially if we're going to go through a lawsuit. So Justin will have some explaining to do. At the same time, this is a romantic movie. There are unclothed scenes and romantic scenes. Again, I'm trying to look at this objectively to defend Justin too. Was this sort of talked about as sort of like this, or we should be more like this, or here? I don't know. At the same time, he's playing a bit of a womanizing jerk to begin with. Was this sort of method acting gone wrong? Again, this isn't like, to me, this is a little bit different than most other cases we go of. Like, this is clearly just, again, inappropriate, but lawsuit worthy. Again, you got to remember, guys, there's rights to a book that are still out there, which Justin controls. And this movie was a hit, massive hit that clearly Blake, I'm sure, wants to take over without Justin's involvement. Hard to do because Justin is a key part in the film as well as an actor. So he's protected. They both are. But I look at these things a lot more objectively. And again, now, if he did these things, there should be proof, and then shame on him. That's a point I want to make clear. But I need to see some of this stuff and see the context of it all. There's also demand that there be no more adding of X scenes, all these different things, by Blake outside the scope of the script she approved when signing on the project. Now, again, fair. She has every right to do that. That's common in films. And sometimes there's, let's try add more. Studio wants to add more. She made a demand that there be no. Okay, great. She's allowed to do that. And it sounds like they didn't. So, okay, next. The suit claims the demands were embraced and approved by the studio, but in the end, the film flopped. What? No, it didn't. The film made over $200 million at the global box office and on a budget of $25 million. This film was a massive hit. The demands were embraced and approved, but in the end, the film flopped, and in part because of a huge conflict over how it would be marketed. Blake wanted a more upbeat pitch about her character's resilience, whereas Baldoni wanted to focus on the DV. So we're suing because the movie was a hit? The movie worked. Whoever's got the decision got it right. And it wasn't you, Blake, because you got backlash for your ways of promoting. That has nothing to do with Justin. What the hell is this? And again, what is the crime here? Lively claims Baldoni and Company then engaged in a social manipulation campaign to destroy Lively's reputation. Suit includes text from Baldoni's publicist to the studio publicist, which says Baldoni wants to feel like Miss Lively can be buried, and we can't write, we will destroy her. I mean, that's not good. I want to see that text, but I want to see the context of that text. Was this because of other negotiations that were happening? Was this because Blake was trying to paint Justin as a bully and refusing to engage with him and push him out of the film? I got to look at this fairly, Blake, and you're coming out like a bully with this lawsuit that feels a little one-sided to me. I got to keep it honest, especially given your other behavior that I saw in junkets. I didn't see any of that from Justin. Justin was very polite, nice, and all about the message of the film throughout the marketing. I didn't see him slip once, and I was watching a lot because we covered it in great detail. So this is frustrating me, hence where a little bit of my bias may be coming from, guys. The suit claims the campaign caused Lively harm to her business and caused her family severe emotional distress. So the backlash, not the harassment, the backlash. Baldoni's lawyer lashed out the lawsuit, saying it was designed to fix her negative reputation, adding her claims are false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt. Freeman goes on to say Lively was a nightmare on set, threatening to not show up on set, threatening to not promote the film, ultimately leading to its demise during release. What demise? What nuts are we talking? This movie was a hit. This was a massive hit based off its budget. And again, is someone trying to get the rights? As we reported, this war has been waged for months, a war which included allegations, asked her trainer how much Lively weighed. She felt it was fat shaming. Again, this is ridiculous. He has to lift her up. He has back problems. Again, this is where things get complicated. Okay, both things could be correct. She felt wronged But at the end of the day, was it really like a suable? No. These guys don't get along, is what my opinion is on this. We're told Baldoni said his ass because he had a bad back. He was trying to protect it. No, look, I don't know either of these guys. I'm not here to defend either of them because I don't know him personally, and I don't want to be in trouble if there is something that Justin did that is wrong. But based on what I'm reading from TMZ, and we don't have the suit yet, there should be clear proof and evidence from people to back up this. And then still, what are you suing on? What are the damages? Why do this now? We all sort of forgot and moved on. To me, this feels like someone, Blake, I'll be honest, is now my opinion. This feels like Blake couldn't get over the fact that Justin won the PR battle. And he did. And it wasn't due to Justin's manipulation. Justin's firm wasn't calling me or Kirsten. We talked about it multiple times. I had her on. The reason they say it is because it was Johnny Depp's PR firm that did this. So now, it must be sneaky like what Adam Waldman did. And therefore it's all, no, never. I've never spoken to that PR lady who Justin hired. And he hired it because you started a manipulation campaign of your own, Blake, to try to make him look like he was a bad director, bad all this stuff. And you never brought any of this up. And now you are? I don't know. This is weird to me. And I still don't even know. The worst case scenario, he was inappropriate on set. And this isn't okay. But is this suable? Honestly, I'm shocked she did this lawsuit because to me, this makes her even more like somebody I would never want to work with on a film. I'd be terrified of, oh my God, she's going to over-exaggerate everything. I'm going to say some joke improperly, and then suddenly Blake's going to go off and file a lawsuit against me. This is the type of thing where it's like, is this really like harm? To me, the harm is the bad reputational stuff based on your actions. Why didn't you apologize to this poor woman? This poor woman couldn't have kids and was complimenting your baby bump, and you bullied her with your friend and made her feel so small, and that's Justin's fault? Like, it's in video. How is that Justin's fault? This is why I don't like you. I don't like you because you had to hawk your alcoholic brand for a film that's about domestic abuse. I think that's sleazy. I'm using real evidence. I don't like how you were treating the fans and sort of littling them and making it all about yourself. I don't like your upbeat, positive approach to it. I didn't. I don't think that was appropriate. And Justin was right. This was a serious movie that you need to embrace, but you guys should have just figured out a way to do it together, which somehow you did, to be fair. There was a little bit of both, and people did dress up in their florals and showed up and then cried and realized, wow, this movie is way more serious. But at the end of the day, whatever you guys did worked. And you should settle the differences, figure out why, be adults, and move on and make the next film for the fans. That's what adults do. Now, again, I don't see anything here that's so egregious. All I see is you bringing your husband to set to try to throw some weight around and admitting it. Because, now again, this is a film where this is what's frustrating to me. I need the full context of these conversations because I'm not approving and saying this is okay to do. But the worst case I'm seeing is he's being inappropriate with women, images of women, and his addiction to material and previous women he's been with. Now, again, some of that stuff could absolutely be inappropriate and wrong. At the same time, it could all be in relation to making the film and creative choices that were made to make that film. And so an R-rated film that's, about relationships, like some of that conversation can come into play. So again, I can't just look at that salacious headlines that she's putting out there and just believe her, especially given all the behavior I've seen her do. So I think this is incredibly misinformed to do this. I'm dying to read this lawsuit and see the proof. And again, if Justin's done something highly inappropriate, I will be the first to report on it and call him out for it. But in the meanwhile, I'm very hesitant. And I think this is only going to do more damage to you, Blake. Your PR people suck. Your PR people suck. You should have called me day one and I would have gotten you and Kirsty together. You would have done an apology. You would have invited her to the next movie. You would have looked likable. There's 100 things you could have done, but it looks like your ego wouldn't let you. You got to let it go. And if you want to have a PR win here, instead, what damages is she going to win? What is this for? I suspect she's trying to jockey the rights and also save her face. That's just my opinion. Am I crazy? Am I missing something? I want to hear your thoughts down below. I am going to keep on this one though. So again, like I said, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for alerts, smash that like button as well. I need to see more on this. This is still very strange to me, but there it is. Merry Christmas, folks. We got a new lawsuit and new celebrity drama to break down for you here on Popcorn Planet.